there, thanks for joining me today. My name is Megan Browne. I am an early childhood student support facilitator that works for the special school district. Today, we're going to be talking about stopping challenging behavior. Children engage in challenging behavior for a variety of reasons, but for all children, challenging behavior is used to communicate messages. Typically, these messages that they're communicating might be a need to escape or avoid an activity, or perhaps escape or avoid a directive that has been given to them, or something that they don't want to do. Or another reason that children exhibit challenging behavior would be to communicate a need to obtain something, whether that be access to a material, a toy, or to obtain attention from an adult, whether that attention be positive or negative. Challenging behavior typically comes out when children lack the skills to communicate these messages properly. At this point, challenging behavior may be all your child knows how to engage in, and that might be for a couple of reasons. One, this behavior has worked for him or her for a duration of time, and this is how they know what to do to get their needs met. Or two, he or she lacks the skills and have not yet learned how to communicate positively, how to get access to something or how to avoid something appropriately. So once we as parents understand the purpose or the meaning behind the behavior, you can begin to select strategies to change this behavior. And you can do this by selecting some prevention strategies, teaching some new skills, and then also changing the way that you're going to respond in an effort to eliminate and minimize any challenging behavior. So the Family Routine Guide is an excellent resource that we're going to be talking about today that's going to help families develop a positive plan to support your young children who are using these challenging behaviors. I really like this resource because it includes strategies for common routines and activities that might occur in your own home and during a family's week. And more importantly, I like this resource because the strategies and the skills are already listed for you, so there's no need to recreate the wheel. Let's take a look at some of the topics that the Family Routine Guide covers. Here's a table of contents from one of the routines. We will talk in just a minute about how to use the Family Routine Guide and the planning sheet. But as you can see here, there's some standard routine topics such as getting dressed, undressed, brushing teeth, meals, play, cleanup, riding in a car, going to a restaurant, going to the doctor, taking a bath, bathroom, bedtime, sleeping routines. So I really like it. It has a lot of different options and things and strategies to look at. Here's the family planning sheet. So this family planning sheet is available for writing down the strategies that will be selected for your child to kind of pinpoint those individual challenging behaviors. So you're going to see 4 columns in this guide. And the first one is identifying what your child is doing during a specific time and why you think he or she is doing that. So essentially, you're looking at the function of the behavior. Is your child doing that to get out of something or to get attention, to get access to something? So that's the first thing you're going to want to determine is which behavior are you going to work on and why do you think he or she is doing it? The next column is going to be what can I do to prevent the problem behavior? This column provides strategies that will help the child participate in the routine without having challenging behavior. So these are the things that we're going to do to set up the environment for success to even prevent that problem behavior from occurring. The next column is what can I do if the problem behavior occurs? This will give the parent and caregiver some ideas on how you can respond in a way that won't maintain the problem behavior or to keep the behavior from happening again. The last column is what new skills should I teach? And this will suggest new skills that need to be taught directly to your child to replace the challenging behavior that they have been using up until now. Many of the strategies mentioned in this guide are very quick and easy to implement. And once you start getting familiar with those, they will carry over into a lot of other areas of the day. But it is important to use all the columns in the guide in order to see more proper success. And also, if you write the plan down on that family planning, on this family planning page, you're more likely to implement those strategies. Let's take a look at a few examples from the family routine guide. So here we have the area of cleanup. And you will see in the family routine guide that it will have a section of cleanup, but then there might be a variety of different reasons why your child might not be doing these things. So you might need to look a little bit more specifically. So for example, on the top, your child has not finished doing the activity. So just like adults, kids need those warnings and they need to be given time to finish an activity. If you were in the middle of a very important email and somebody came in and said, come on, let's go, it's time to leave right now, chances are you wouldn't just get up and go. You would say to the person, I need just a minute to finish composing this email, and then I'll be ready to go. The same goes for kids. So this is going to give you some suggestions of things to do to prevent that problem behavior. So use a timer. So set a timer, allow the child a minute or two to finish, maybe give them some control over how many minutes more that they might need to finish that activity, and then set the timer. You can also note that there is a specific video in the ECSE family channel just about using timers. So if it's not something that you currently use at home, I recommend that you watch that video as well. Another suggestion to prevent problem behavior is ahead of time, maybe you've set up a special place for projects so that unfinished projects have a place to go so they can be brought back out at a later time to work on. If your child gets very upset and has some anger issues, maybe you want to look at a strategy such as Tucker Turtle. And you can find all of these things on the website as well, to understand and think of a solution of things that you can do when it is time to clean up, but you might not be ready. Then the next problem is, what can I do if the problem behavior occurs? So again, we'll want to use some gentle reminders and let your child know that they can finish it later, and make sure you let them know when they'll get to do that. Validating feelings goes a long way with kiddos, especially when they're being asked to clean up an activity they don't want to clean up. So I know you want to finish, but maybe we can finish it later today. So show them on the schedule, or tell them at after point, maybe after lunch, after you take a nap, we can come back and finish this. And then you might need to reteach like a strategy such as Tucker Turtle, where he takes breathing, does some deep breathing to calm down and think of a solution. So in terms of what new skills should I teach, we want to teach the child to finish in an allotted time. So as you're setting up the timer or any sort of needing to be finished, maybe you set the timer, start out setting the timer for 5 minutes, and then at each minute mark, you're going to let them know, okay, 1 minute has passed, you have 4 more minutes left. Think about what you need to be doing to clean up. How can we finish this project? Do you want to use one more crayon to color? So that we're teaching them that they need to stop when the timer goes off. We also want to teach the child a place where they can put the special place where they can put their projects, and if you have a dedicated space. And outside of a child being upset, you would want to teach them those breathing and anger skills to calm their anger skills outside of being upset. So maybe you read the Tucker Turtle and you practice those breathing skills outside of when your child is being asked to finish an activity. So as you can see, you'll probably have the most success when you put all 3 of these components together to prevent problem behavior, respond appropriately, and then work on new skills to teach, rather than just doing one of these at a time. You'll also see the same for riding in the car. And I'm not going to read all of these because when you have access to the family routine guide, you can go ahead and look at that yourself. But maybe your child doesn't understand where he or she is going. So you want to make sure that ahead of time you're setting up that environment for success and you're planning for that transition. You're going to set the timer, set it for 5 minutes, let them know where you're going, maybe have a written schedule down of the errands you're running, or if you're going to pick up a sibling at school, maybe have a picture of the school that you can give to your child so that they can hold it in their hand and they'll know that when they get to that school, they've arrived at their destination. What to do if problem behavior occurs. Again, work on using that timer and reminding them that when the timer goes off, it will be time to get in the car. And then again, with those new skills, we want to teach your child to maybe ask how to bring a toy or a preferred item in the car with you. Teach your child how to follow a schedule if you're going to multiple places. Should you need any help with visuals or a visual schedule, you can contact your individual student support facilitator for assistance with that. So there are actually 2 places on the internet that you can access this family routine guide. The top internet link there is where I got the guide that I just showed you during these examples, and that is from the Center on Social Emotional Foundations for Early Learning. And also then the second link there, one of the web producers from Challenging Behavior revised the family guide a little bit. They're very similar, but the second one is for children ages 4 to 8 years old. So either way, you can find either the family routine guide at either one of these links, or if you are in doubt, you can literally just Google search family routine guide, and both of these will come up as a PDF. They are a lot of papers, so maybe you might only print or access the ones that you need, but I highly recommend that you consider using that family planning sheet to have that accessible in your house. These links will also be accessible next to the video on the Early Childhood Special Ed Family channel. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video today. I hope that you find the Family Routine Guide as a valuable resource to yourself. Again, if you should have any additional questions, go ahead and contact your individual student support facilitator. Thanks.